Warning contains profanity.
Because I've had a shit week.
If swearing or ranting bothers you, I suggest maybe clicking on to something else rather than this video right now. My week didn't start out like this. It's actually been the best start to the year I think I've ever had, ever. I was flying high at the start of the week, so much so that I actually filled out one of the 10 things I want to remember prompt that I gave you in last week's no-sew journal making tutorial, where we made a journal for 2022 and I gave you some prompts. And one of the prompts that I gave you to use through the year was things to remember, and already by the 3rd of January I had written something down. So I mean, I was on top of the world at the start of the year, which is also technically the start of the week. And then and then my hormones hit me like a freaking freight train. And as I run through this, I'm just going to share with you the art journal pages that I have done in and amongst all of this. I cannot ever remember feeling so bad so concentratedly. I mean, I was alternating for a good solid few days between wanting to cry my eyes out or wanting to rip something apart. And even when I've dealt with depression, I'm not a crier, and sometimes I even want to in order to release, but I'm not wired that way. I don't often cry. And so it was getting to the end of the week where I felt like I had to do a video for you and just trying to be bright and breezy and uplifted and give you something inspiring was just not going to happen. And so I decided to just share my truth instead and be inspiring in another way, in the hope that I pass along 2 things to you in this video. 1, if you feel like shit, it's okay. You know, I do believe in positive mental attitude. I do believe in the law of attraction, and I live there most of the time. But something was chemically happening within my body that was just not allowing me to even enjoy anything that I would normally enjoy. I was just so unhappy, and it irritated the fuck out of me because you can't see it. You know, so I feel like there's nothing wrong because I can't see it, but I could not deny what was happening on an internal level. And having read The Female Brain, the author describes men as mountains and women as the weather in how we change. You know, men are solid in that they get their testosterone at the same day and it finishes at the same day every day. That's why we have a patriarchal society with 9-to-5 jobs and all of that set up, because it works if your body and your mind is the same every day on a hormonal level. But for women, we are chemical concoctions that just change every day of the fecking month. And so I just gave in to allowing myself to feel like shit. So at the same time, while I normally promote thinking positively and putting out what you want to attract, and I do believe in all of that, there is also a fight sometimes that you just cannot win in just not allowing yourself to feel how you fucking feel and just let it be, just release it. At the same time, while I was feeling this, I was listening to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, and he was arguing about how it's a positive thing to let negative emotions exist as they are. And it was a compelling argument when he said to say, when you feel like shit, I feel like shit, but who gives a fuck? Just to not care about having to conform to what the people want you to behave like or be like. So maybe just to give each other more slack, because this human shit is hard. And when I say give each other more slack, I'm also including ourselves in that. As soon as you feel okay, jump on it, you know, bask in that. But also there can be an unhealthiness to forcing something that you aren't feeling and denying those feelings that you actually are. So what I did was I allowed the feelings that I actually was feeling in my journaling. And that's the second thing I want to get across in this video, is to rely on your journal when you do feel like that. It is there for you. It won't judge you. You can swear at it. It's not going to argue back. So I did 2 journal pages where I created black pages, and my inner critic was screaming at me because I hate just colouring a page in one solid colour. I like to have layers to it, but the black matched my mood. And then how I created was very simply on the first day, just using desk scraps, just things that I found. It's just some text page and a piece of collage and actually a dandelion clock that for some reason was on my desk. And then the next night I came and did another page, which was basically a take on the night before, using the same kind of elements and scribbling a little bit more and tearing through the paper and abusing my journal. Because that's something else you can do when your journal's not going to have an issue with you for it. Your journal is 100% there for you no matter what. And you know, I've been hearing from a lot of you, a lot of us are having a tough time at the minute. It's just, there was no alternative for me this week. I cannot alter how I feel. And trying to for the first couple of days was just digging me in further. So that is the message of this video. It's inspiring in a different kind of way. It's just telling you, if you feel like shit, it's okay, let's accept it, let's understand that it's part of the human experience. And if you want to focus on the things that I've been focusing on this week to help me get through it, number 1 is this too shall pass. Number 2 is Mark Manson's words of I feel like shit, but who gives a fuck? Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Our emotions change all the time, and it's okay to be where we're at when we're at it, and we don't need to explain ourselves away or apologize or do anything or be anything than what we are authentically. And finally, just to lean into your journaling practice. I have been getting back into my written journaling as well as my art practice in a daily, consistent way, and I'm so glad I did, because when the shit hit the fan and when you're in such a highly emotionally volatile state, you need something that is a release valve. So I would suggest making sure that this year, 2022, you have a consistent journaling practice. If you want help with that, I do have a couple of classes on my art journaling community, journal workshops. First is the 7-day journaling journey, where I take you through a different journaling technique every day for 7 days. And then the second is called Dig, which was actually journaling techniques that helped me through my depression, as well as other things that helped me through that time in that class. Both of them are donation classes that I've actually set to starting at free. So if you want to take a class with me, both of those are 7 days and you can take them over on journal workshops. That's it from me this week. I'm hoping that my message was clear and actually valuable and not just gobbledy, because I have got period brain and yeah, just feel a mess. But that is part of the process. I'm accepting it and accepting a weekend of doing absolutely nothing that I don't want to do. So I'll see you all next week. Much love, everybody.